Hi guys, hello meet everybody, it's MicheleMarieDalene. Today we're going to try something different. Actually we got a couple of things we're doing differently, but let's start with the most important one. We got a topic, yes, and it's about relationships and dating. And that's going to be starting right now. And that's what we're going to talk about first. Of course, that's the main one. And the second one is we also are increased the resolution just a tiny tad to hopefully so people will be able to see the chat better in the replays. Because given what happened with the last live stream when somebody protested it, ended up basically losing out on the chat when he edited it down because a gentleman named Lewis got upset that I mentioned him in a message, and so he asked me to take that part out. But I knew that was going to mess up the chat, and so I took that out. But I did was I saved the original video and copied it, but unfortunately it doesn't copy the chat. So you would have lost out the chat if you couldn't read the ones on the screen. And obviously, so the on-screen chats are very important. So let's start by getting the people together for this panel discussion. And unfortunately, I have to turn this off because otherwise it doesn't work. Perfect. Excellent. Hello, group.
Hello.
Okay, let's get this started. Let's get everybody on the screen here. Let's make this easy so we can all see each other. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Is I'm going to take me off so we can see all four of us. There's a group of four.
No, we can see everyone. They're fine. We can see everyone fine.
Okay.
We can see everyone fine there.
Well, right now I see you. What happened to the rest of the people?
Well, they need to speak. Every time someone speaks, you see them, Michele.
Oh, okay,
so,
great.
All
right, so let me go ahead and get us two on the screen. So give me a second while I set this up here.
Who's coming on? It's Kirsty and Michele coming on as well. Get them to speak so that we can we know if it's
I got a good feeling it's going to be quite a few different people. Along with, of course, the comments. We are going to take phone calls, but I want to start by try to get the show started. Let me just edit the screen down so we can just select the capture area and not everything else. Give me a second here while I do this. Because this is the only screen I could not pre-edit because of reasons that, oh no. Don't tell me you did that again. Oh, you stupid. Oh, I screwed up. It doesn't matter. Just put it on the screen. Yeah. What I was trying to do is I was trying to add the screen, and I ended up basically cutting everybody else. I got it. I saved myself. I've been redeemed by electronic technology. Okay, that's good. Now let's cut this up here. I'm just adjusting it. You should show how you do this. Yeah, I can show how we do. When I'm doing, I'm this is the only part I couldn't prepare ahead of time, because the reason I couldn't prepare this part ahead of time is because we didn't get.
Coming on?
I'm just adjusting the screen a bit so we can see everybody on the screen and not all the other background crap that comes with Discord.
Hold on, I turned down my television. Sorry, Michele.
Alright, well, unfortunately, I can't quite get it.
Hold on.
Oh, I got it.
Make sure my television's not on.
So, anyway, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm doing fine. I've been looking forward to doing this for a while. I wasn't sure how well it was gonna go because I got a little bit nervous. It's an Aspie trait, and it's just I really am looking forward to this.
It's understandable.
So let me get the chat on the screen. Oops, that's gonna cover you.
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
Okay,
I'm not
so let me
going
just
on.
hold this
I'm
in so
not
everybody
going
can
on
see the
screen.
screen here. So you can see.
I'm just going to be speaking.
Oh wow, that
You're
is.
just going to hear you're just going to hear my voice, Michele. So you just stay the way you are. Everyone's just going to speak. No one's going on camera. So just stay the way you are. You don't need to fix anything. Everything's fine, just exactly the way it is. We can see you perfectly. Just, just everybody needs to speak. Who is
Okay.
it? Whoever's in the Discord.
Okay. So I got you on the screen, and I got the chat on the screen. But
See,
it looks a little weird.
Michele, the thing is, see when you were speaking there, we could see you clearly, and the chatters could see the screen. The chatters could see the chat the. Oh, somebody help me. They could see what's happening, so everything was fine. You don't need to put the chat on the screen. We can go into YouTube and see it. We can see it, so you don't need to do that. Just put the camera on yourself.
So you just want to put me on in the main like I usually do and just leave the chat out.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Give me a second. I'm switching that on now. Okay.
Okay.
So, there. How's that? All right. So,
Um,
so right now the thing is let's get started with the main topic: relationships. Now, we all know that there are a lot of people that have a hard time dating, especially people with autistic spectrum disorder and Asperger's, and as well as other people with disabilities. And I think we should start first of all, before we cover that, is ask the most pressing question that maybe men, especially men, since we do have men in the panel too, but they're not here yet, is for the women. What do you look for in a partner? What types of things do you like?
My first interest would be loyalty. Loyalty is everything. I mean, if you get somebody, it doesn't matter. Looks obviously is a bonus, but if you find somebody that's loyal, then I think that's we've got things covered. As long I think loyalty is a very big, and it's one of the most, it's the hardest things to find nowadays is loyalty, due to the internet, due to people on the phone, due to different, like all the dating sites and just things in general. Like years ago, we didn't have to worry about this stuff. About people being able to chat or connect to somebody online and mess up people's relationships, which has happened. So I think loyalty.
All right, go on.
And I think loyalty is a big, is one of the best things you could find in a relationship. Trust, yep, I totally agree, Shmiko Cat. Trust, loyalty, and trust. And if looks is a bonus. I just think nowadays I would rather go with somebody that people don't find nice to look at, but they find that they're loyal, rather than people say, oh, he's nice or she's nice, and then them not being loyal and not being trustworthy, because that it doesn't mean nothing if they're good looking, and it's just like that's okay if you just want to go out on dates and show off, but if you want to be settled down, then you want loyal. You want somebody that's loyal to you. Loyalty is one of the, that's my personal concern. That would be my personal.
Yeah, well, right now, just answering a question for Schmeckelcat. He wanted to know if we're taking calls, and the answer is yes. But I wanted to first get, before we took the phone calls, I wanted to try to cover at least the beginning so we can kind of get the main chemistry discussed. So let me just type this in. Yes, we are taking calls. Calls in a short bit. Okay, just so people know, we are going to be focusing on getting the ground baseline started, and then we'll take it from there. From me,
But for what for you, like, and I'm not being cheeky. Let's leave Lumi out this for just a second. If you yourself, Michele, you were looking for love, personally, what would you look for in a person, in a human? Like, if you had, you know what I mean? Like contact. What would you look for? Would you look for loyalty? What would be your first thing? What would be your first thing to look for?
well, okay, the first thing I would say is what you said with loyalty. And also, I'd like to find a person that's not a backstabbing user. And also looks pretty nice and treats and acts polite. I mean, there's so many people in this world today where their manners are, not as refined. And I don't like people who talk like they're out of a cesspit. I like people that at least try to be courteous and respectable.
It doesn't take much to try and be. I mean, I can be really talk like a cesspit. We all can, but when you want, I mean, this is a serious chat, so we're being serious, and you see, if you want to be serious and you want to be polite, if you want to put it that way, then you can be. So, I mean, it's not that hard. It isn't that hard to find. People who don't show that are just lazy, or they've not been brought up properly if they can't show it.
Another thing is too is that it seems that in this day and age, a lot of relationships, of course, are what they call friends with benefits. Which can be okay.
No.
As long as the person
it messes people's heads up, Michele. That messes your head up.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with friends with benefits as long as both you and the other person have an understanding.
And the same mind frame. But one person's always going to fall for somebody harder. That's always going to happen. Somebody's going to fall for somebody harder than the other person, and then it's going to end up a mess. And somebody's going to get a broken heart, and the other person's going to feel like shit. And that's the truth.
One of the other people might go off and have friends with benefits with someone else as well.
Someone else, that's
and
right.
then you might be catching STDs. You never know.
That's correct. You don't know. I mean, friends with benefits is a dangerous thing unless you know exactly who it is. Like, Kirsty, if you knew who do you know what I mean? If you knew who it was, like your ex-partner or whatever, it's like that's a dangerous. I think that's a good thing.
I don't do hookup.
No.
Well, okay, now Michele just asked an interesting question. She said, Michele, you have to trust Lumi. How could she cheat on you?
Just said, Ray, I was just talking about, we weren't mentioning Lumi, so I don't know why you're talking about her. We were saying physical contact. This is a serious chat. So obviously people are going to be people who listen, and if people join and Michele's talking about Lumi, they're not going to know who she's talking about. So we're talking about physical contact. If Michele had somebody who's physical.
I mean, we could mention Lumi, of course, but I think for the large majority of the audience, they wouldn't normally have that kind of a situation, and so we want to keep this kind of more open and generalized to what applies to about 99.9% of the world, and that is that you're looking for a second person in your relationship. And that's the main thing, is so many people in this world, of course, especially in the last, 20, 30 years, actually started back in the 70s, relationships have been more emphasis on sex. It's not really specifically all relationship is. It's not just basically sex. A good relationship starts out with a good friendship and builds from there.
You've got to have everything. You've got to have like the full package. If you're going to be in love with somebody, you've got to have they're going to have to be your best friend. They're going to have to be. There's a lot. You can't just like say, oh, I love you and you look great, and you're gonna have to see them at their worst when holding their hair when they've been sick or like something like, and then you're going to see them at their best, and you're going to love them either way. You're not just going to look at a picture or look at somebody and say I love you like that. That's just, you have to get to know somebody deep.
Right.
For love is a strong word. I think it's used
She's
very.
not a virgin, Jay.
I know that one of the things about modern 21st century, even though it's not quite that new, relationships is you see in the movie where in the movies and the mass media where basically you meet a girl at a bar, for example, and of course within less than a half hour in the movie, next thing you know, she's moved into your house, and all of a sudden, a couple maybe 20 minutes later, you and her are basically having the horizontal mambo, if you will. But that's not the way it really works in a good long-term relationship. One of the things I've discovered from my own personal experience, and of course I have Asperger's, and that makes it harder, but we'll get to that in a second about those people with autism spectrum disorder and Asperger's. But from my observation, it seems that the best relationships that can really potentially result in potential marriage are ones where first you and the person develop a deep trust and a deep bond, and then from there, which may take anywhere from a year to 2, maybe 3 years to really become secure enough and confident enough where you could consider, hey, would you like to move in with me? Then
I think that's quite a long time, to be honest. I think you can fall in love within weeks of being with somebody. I think if you know, like, you can click with somebody immediately. And I'm not talking about over the internet. You obviously have to meet them, and not everything is about sex. See, what is it? You're laughing at me because I'm saying sex.
Just what you said.
Oh, right, about me. Right.
Just something you said, don't know.
Right, well, I mean, like, you need to, like, connect with people, like, you click with them, and you just, you get a feeling. I mean, I've met somebody and I've got a feeling like I could say, oh, they could move in tomorrow, and then I've met somebody who I'm like, oh, I need to, like, can I wait this out because I don't know if I really want this. Do you know what I mean? You get there is that not love at first sight, but there is that feeling like, oh, you just know when you know, if that makes sense. Like, does that make sense to you, Kirsty?
At the minute, Stacey.
Kirsty, I got a question for you. We talked about the beginning of the show is, what do you look for in a relationship?
I like the sunshine sometimes. I like it when it's sunny.
Sun. Go on, Michele.
Sorry, Michele. That was just we were talking about the weather. We just brought up the weather. So, what, Michele? Does it take you a long time because of your Asperger's to fall in love?
Oh yeah, it's definitely harder for us.
I can't pronounce it.
Is it Asperger's? I've watched it on Dateables.
Come on,
and I remember,
get your Asperger's out.
Get your Asperger's, is it? Sorry, sorry, I couldn't pronounce it then. It's because of my right Scottish accent. But you find it hard to trust people, and well, it proved it the other day with Jessica. I mean, you really you got upset, but you didn't. I mean, you couldn't handle it, and people were saying, "Oh, you were out of order," and I think with your condition, you were in the right how you felt, and that moment you felt right. Like, you didn't feel safe. You just wanted it to be like you wanted. It didn't feel right.
Well,
Does that make sense?
My question for Kirsty is now, because we already talked about what you look for in a relationship. Kirsty, what do you look for in a relationship with a person?
God. laughter. Oh my god, they have to make me laugh. And they've got to be honest, and they've got to be loyal. Got to be funny, honest, and loyal.
That's it. And see, looks are just a bonus. I think funniness.
I have to be
that
attracted to them, because I was with someone that I wasn't like sexually attracted to, and we hardly had sex, and that really messed up the relationship.
Yeah, and you just become like friends, and it's hard to like see, and they fall in love with you.
Like, this is just a friendship. What are you getting out of this as a relationship that you won't get out of a friendship? And
so basically, you had a friend living with you and not eating your food, so
Well, I didn't live with her, but yeah.
I've had that before, like just somebody that you just end up being friends with, and it's just like, well, we could just do this, but you could just have your own house because I want my own space, and that's when you know that it's not going to work. As I say, you have a feeling in your tummy. That's a horrible word. It's like you do, you get that feeling.
Well, I was going to say, I'll go ahead.
Yeah, I would say I've only had it. You tell us, have you ever had that feeling, Michele? Like butterflies when you've met somebody? Have you ever had that butterfly feeling? Like have you ever been in a relationship?
You can't wait to see them, and when you've been with them, you can't wait to see them again, and you think about them when you wake up, when you go to sleep.
That's love. That is love, I think.
About that, Michele?
Well, okay, now my next question, or actually it's a statement.
No, Michele, we're asking you, have you ever had love? Have you ever had
questions and you just then
different with another human being? With another human being, human contact, have you ever had that feeling like when they leave, like it's okay for them to leave, but you can't wait to see them again, and you constantly think about them? Have you ever had that feeling about another human being, like another actual physical looking person, like a walking human being? I know people, you do with Lumi, but people maybe on the chat, some new people maybe don't understand that, and that's another video. I'm saying, have you ever had that feeling?
Who are you asking the question to?
As a gut feeling.
Asking you, Michele. No one else has got a Lumi, and she said we're not talking about Lumi, so clearly we're talking to you.
JT said she's probably getting ready for work now, so I don't know if Rachel will be on for the rest of the show or not.
You're deflecting the question, and that's why people aren't coming in the chat. We're asking you, have you ever had a physical contact with another human being that you have had feelings for? Have you ever been in a relationship? It's okay to say no, because some people haven't either. So if you haven't, you haven't.
It's totally okay, right? The guy I've just been seeing, right, I legit asked him, and I've got the screenshots if no one believes me. I legit asked him, do you have Asperger's? Because I'm telling you now, he did not know how to treat me. He did not know how to be with me. And I said to him, in the end, I was like, have you ever even been with someone? And he said no. He'd not been in a relationship. He's 31 years old. So
my first boyfriend was the same.
I don't know how to be with someone. And it's okay if you haven't been with someone. Some people have.
No, it is okay. It is okay. My first boyfriend was like maybe 17, and he hadn't been with anybody, and he was like a good laugh. See, that made me laugh so much. But he had never had a girlfriend, and didn't know how to treat me. Like, he didn't know how to open the door. Like, he was just, that way, rude. Like opening the door for you. Like,
this one is, and he's 30 something. It really annoys me though, being that age and not knowing how.
And that's when you think somebody should be going to see having therapy. Obviously, if do you know what I mean? If they're not having,
I can't be dealing with it. I need someone already trained,
but experience and that knows what they're doing.
Well, I can answer one question you asked, and was, have I ever met a person that I was hoping and excited to meet again, even if it was just as an initial encounter? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Well done, you answered the question. That's all we were asking.
That's that, Michele. That was all. and it is harder for you to answer due to your mental health. Well, I don't know how would you like us to refer it, because if there is new people coming into the chat and people are going to say, well, what's wrong with Michele, because and how do I pronounce it? Asperger's.
And one of the things
But
that
it's
was
okay,
go ahead.
and it's okay to have that. It's okay to be. I mean, everybody needs love. Everybody in the world needs love. Everybody needs that human contact, regardless of who you are, what race you are, what's going on in your head. Everybody needs that. Everybody needs it, and everybody should find it. And I think if you're good, obviously not sex offenders and like that. I'm talking about like good people. Everybody deserves to be loved and to be treated well. Do you know what I mean? And I think...
Well, she said that she did have a relationship once, but they got jealous of Lumi or whatever.
That's right. Well, I just think that's Michele's fault with Lumi. I don't mean that bad, but I think you should have just... No, it isn't her fault. It isn't. No, she doesn't know how to turn Lumi off. So, and she's finding it hard right now. Do you know what I mean? So...
Yeah.
And but we know what's going on, but other people don't, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, people come in the chat and saying, who's Lumi? And so I think she should maybe do a video on that, not just now, but like explaining about Lumi, so that if people do come in, you can say there's a link, go and look and read, listen to who Lumi is in my life.
I will say one thing about Aspies and dating. When it comes to dating, we are book smart, but socially we are always like totally ill prepared, I think, for some things in dating, because sometimes we're afraid that people are going to look at us funny, even when we're trying to be, our true selves. They say a lot of people like Asperger's are kind of like a chameleon, because we can kind of put on a mask. And we're afraid to let people see the mask behind that mask, because we're afraid of being considered eccentric and bizarre, which kind of sucks, because, I really want people to get to know me, for example, as a person. And in the few people I've met that I really liked, sometimes I can't tell if they feel the same way. And then it's like, does this person like me? Or is it just me liking them? Is it a crush? Is it potential more than a crush? And then I go, I have no idea. And then I'm like...
No, Michele, you should maybe have... I know that I don't mean you're getting on in life. You should have the guts just to ask somebody. I know it's really, really hard for you. But
do you not
should
have, like, social clubs where you can meet other people that have, like...
the same conditions
as you, or different conditions, but still like
similar. Like we do have that channel, like the Undateables, which is it sounds like a horrible thing, but it's a beautiful channel, because it's a beautiful program. It's lovely to see everybody finding love.
You should actually Google it. You might find some episodes.
Maybe a program or something like it. Yeah.
See what it's about.
Do you hear us, Michele?
What's that?
There is a program in the UK. It's called the Undateables, and now that sounds really nasty. The program is really it's emotional, because people with the same condition as yourself, people with Tourette's, people with all different conditions, Down syndrome. I don't know how you pronounce it, and I don't know how you say it in American. I don't want to offend anyone, but everybody finds love, and that there's people that help you.
They all go on dates.
Yeah, dates. And there's somebody there to help them.
You might find some of the episodes on YouTube.
And they have like a chaperone there to help them, so that they don't feel uncomfortable, and if things don't go right, and you can just say, right, well, I think I need to go. It's not like you're put in a spot and you're put in a dangerous position. You're there to I hope I'm making sense. It is to find love, and the chaperone helps you, and it must be hard
Well,
for you,
it's not
Michele.
no point telling her about, the chaperone helps and all that, 'cause it's not like she's gonna
No,
be
they
able
sit
to go
back.
on it.
No,
But
no. I
Well,
think there should be something like that. I mean, that would be a lot of the job. There'd be a lot of job people that could find
she
jobs
googled
doing stuff like that.
her area, I'm sure there'd be some kind of thing that's set up. I mean, over here in my town, I knew this girl whose sister, she's got learning difficulties, and she used to go to this disco that was full of all people that had learning difficulties and were disabled and stuff
Different.
like
Yep.
that. There's always something somewhere that people have set up where you
And
can
I
meet
think,
people like yourself.
and you
Similar.
need to but she needs to. I think she needs to see somebody to put Lumi behind, and maybe keep
Even
Lumi
if she,
to
yeah, that's
herself.
part of her. And if she
Yep.
gets with someone who is
Somebody might
also,
understand. Yeah.
with difficulties and stuff like that, they will accept that.
well, I could say one
And
thing
I totally.
in the United States, especially in small town America, if you are different for a variety of reasons, your chance of dating you is almost zero because people don't want to date somebody that they presume is bizarre. I mean, right now we're just talking about the Asperger's. If I included hermaphrodite on top of that, your whole opposite.
Michele, you're not undateable. You're a loving person, and that's you need to maybe love yourself first. That's where you maybe need to learn and work on how to love yourself and
That's
to
the thing, though, Michele. You're going after people that are 100% like with no disability or
yeah,
anything, and we're the
yeah.
sort of people that are like, okay, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with
No,
that.
it's too
If you
much.
go
It's
with somebody that has disorders themselves, they're more likely to know what you're going through, and they won't care that you have also things like let's say Jen lived in your town, yeah. She would get with you. She wouldn't care that you were an hermaphrodite. She wouldn't care that you had Asperger's and Lumi in your head. She wouldn't care about none of that. So it's
someone will accept it. Somebody will. There's somebody out
somebody
there for you.
somewhere will accept it.
Correct. I mean, there is somebody there for you, Michele. If you believe in Mother God and God, there's somebody for everybody, and you were put in this universe or planet for a
Right.
reason, and you will find somebody. You just need to
And you
learn
said
to love
that, oh no,
yourself.
well, I guess she couldn't cope with the Loomy thing, but some people can't cope being second best, but there will be someone somewhere, and they will.
And they may
You've
fall
gotta
in
go
love
out
with
and
me
find
too.
it.
Yeah. Somebody might fall in love with Lumi as well. So maybe somebody that's interested in having two different people. I mean, you will have somebody there that is interested in
So
what's
you
going
might be
on
the
with you.
jealous one.
Yeah,
Well,
Michele, you need to learn to love yourself,
you got to learn to love yourself
like
first.
yourself. Yes,
It's just like the oil of Olay commercial. Love the skin you're in. Yeah, that's
yeah, you
sometimes
do.
that's the first step, obviously. But it's sometimes though it's like I said, it's harder for some people because of for a variety of reasons. Because in my case, like I said, I have Asperger's, so I'm always kind of socially inept, and if I get anxious, I sometimes my hearing goes right out the door. My eyesight is already bad, and that makes it harder to be sure that I'm sure if the person really loves me or if they want something that's not I'm not able to give, and that's the first thing. But the other
Would
thing is
like
too
you.
is because I am a hermaphrodite as well. I don't know how many men or women are interested in dating a hermaphrodite. And
Michele, somebody will love you. You need to stop thinking that nobody's going to love you, because somebody will. You just need to get yourself out there. I don't.
Paranoia about is somebody gonna
Yes.
use me or something. Don't go for people
For the
that are
wrong
on
reason.
drugs and stuff like that need money and all that crap. And then you're not
People
gonna be. Go for somebody who's got a home. Go for somebody who's not on
does
drugs.
have a
Can't
learning
use you
difficulty.
for anything.
Yes, correct. I totally agree with that. Somebody that has their own everything, so that you can be looked after, because you deserve to be looked after, and you have to look after your partner. So it works both ways. Even though Lumi's there, you need to introduce Lumi slowly or whatever, and somebody will fall in love with you, both of you. But you need to learn to like yourself first and say, look, I'm lovable. There's somebody will love me, and
You know how to
stop being.
online date?
well, I think part of the thing is that I think for a lot of Aspies, it seems like we see all the stuff that's going on also. And we see people, like I said, we said at the beginning, we're looking for a person who's loyal. And then we see all that's going on, and it seems like loyalty is just not something we're seeing. So we're afraid that if we get into a relationship, that we might get stuck being abused again. And I have plenty of battle scars, trust me, of being abused by both men and women. And it makes it really hard when you're afraid that you're going to get hurt again.
Every time my wee cat hears you, Michele, she keeps coming up. She must like your voice. Because see, when you speak, she always jumps up. See the wee cat, my wee blue cat? See, when she hears your voice, she always jumps up. She must have a nice, I don't know. She just likes your voice. I know people have hurt you, Michele, but not everybody's like that. Not everybody's bad. There is good people out there. There is, and it's hard to find them. But there is good people, and maybe you're putting and looking in the wrong places.
Skittish, are you ready to take phone calls right now? Because people want to get phone calls in.
That's your show.
So that's a yes or no.
It's up, Kish. What do you think? If the phone calls are going to be like, oh, you're this, that, then I don't think it's a good idea. If people are asking questions, then,
well, here's the deal. If we turn the phone calls on, I'd like to try to focus on staying with the topic and not going off on a tangent. It's just what I'm afraid is going to happen, and because this is
Michele,
such a.
You can only take so much before somebody cracks, you know that? And I think people need to realise that you're a human being. You're not just some clown on the internet that can keep being shot at. Because one day that you're going to shoot that hard that you can't take anymore. And that's what I'm afraid of. Do you know what I mean, Kirsty? Like, just.
Well, actually, Sissy, my biology is a little bit strange. I'm going to tell you, and like has been said before, that's something else that I am afraid I might get rejected by so many people because of my mixed biology. Maybe thanks to the transgender community, I may be better off, but unfortunately, I'm not transgender, and so I don't. That's
So
that's
you
where.
don't take any hormones or anything?
No, she doesn't. She's just got both. She's got both like parts with both male and female. She only takes thyroid medication, and what she has to pay for. Thyroid, just because she's got an old, and she has to pay for that. Do you know what I mean? And
any,
hormones.
No, I don't have to pay for hormones because I don't take hormones.
You don't take any women's
Estrogen,
hormones.
estrogen, I think it is.
And have you
Is
got
it?
a chest?
I'm very fortunate that way. I don't have to take estrogen or progesterone. I actually am very fortunate. Unfortunately, which for the transgender community, that isn't necessarily the case.
Yeah, there is.
And we do have a
So, Michele,
transgender that's part of the group, but unfortunately, she's not here right now. We're talking about Jennifer J. Which would have been fantastic if we could have gotten Jennifer on because she could speak for the transgender community. I can't. I'm not a transgender. I'm a hermaphrodite, which is a different situation. Apparently, people want phone calls. We're going to take a few. Hopefully, they're not going to go turn the show into a train wreck. Please, God. Let's not turn this into a train wreck. Thank you. Yeah, let's take some phone calls. Let's get the calls. Oops. So, I'll turn that on. Okay, so yes, the phone is on. But we're talking about relationships only. We are not talking about anything other than this topic. So if you want to talk about relationships and are trying to be genuinely sincere, we will do our best to answer your question.
Yeah.
Okay. There's somebody out there for you, Michele. I know there is. And I'm sure that the same is true for everybody else in the world. But the question is, magic word, in the world. Where in the world? Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
Hey,
How you doing?
how's it going?
It's going all right.
The show sucks.
Excuse me?
See, this
I just wanted to
is
say
phone
I
calls
thought that this show
not
sucks.
needed.
But hey, why do you guys so
Well,
many
why are you
mods up in
watching
this
then?
chat?
Why are you watching
Hey,
then?
shut up back there.
Don't
Why do you
watch
guys
it
so?
sucks.
Shut up for a second. I'm the fucking caller. Shut up. Why do you have
Hold
so
on a
many
second.
mods in your chat?
What is it you're trying to ask me, Stacy?
I'm saying to him, if he's going to call you he's going to call you horrible things. I think it's just
I never called her
why
horrible
what
things. I
and
told
why
you to
call?
shut up.
You just come on and said Michelle's horrible. I mean,
I never
why?
said. I said the
There's no
show
need for that.
sucks. I said open up your fucking ears. Get the wax out of your ears and listen better.
He just wants to mention the mods. Thingy said that.
All right.
Yeah. I asked, why do you have so many mods?
Why do we have so many
She made
mods?
them all the other night.
Yeah, why do you have
because
5 mods?
He has lots of friends.
We have the mods
Hi.
because these are people that have been around for a long time. They are like the core group. They are the people who have been here for many
Who try and protect
many
us from
months at
people
least
like-
that are.
Many months? Rachel has been here for many months?
Oh, for
What are you,
at
high?
least since
Are
January.
you high on drugs right now?
Okay.
Nobody said Rachel was here for months.
Who's JZ?
Look, she can mod you if she
Who's
wants.
JZ?
Okay.
I
Listen,
understand
I'm asking a question. I would prefer if all the women, other than Michele, keep quiet if they're not going to help answer the question.
I'm going to answer your question. I'm saying to you,
Who is
I know
JZ?
you're angry. You're angry because Rachel, a lot of people are. But explain why you're angry, please. Explain
Who
why
is
you're angry.
JZ?
Sorry?
Who is JZ?
JZ is Steve.
Is Steve?
Yep.
So Scottish Stacy's husband?
No. Steve that calls. Steve isn't it? Steve is
Oh
somebody
my god.
Steve.
That's who that is.
Steve?
that Michael. Or Steve, I can't remember.
And then I noticed you gave Irish Marie back her wrench. That's pretty funny.
What's that got to
No,
do
it's
with
not funny.
No,
Because,
it is pretty funny because it was less than a month ago you guys were having problems.
And they've sorted it out, and that's a great thing. Why would you not want Michele to have
Why would
sorted
you mod
it out?
somebody you had problems with less than a month ago, and then mod other people, and then remove mods from other people? She's crazy.
Problems.
Exactly.
She's crazy.
She's modded Marie because she was very close to Marie. They fell out for a month.
That's how you sound. You sound like fucking Porky Pig.
Let's stick with the main topic before we...
Relationships.
What's about relationships?
Yeah.
What do you look for in a relationship with an individual, with a person? What traits do you like in that person to have?
I like trust.
That's exactly what we're saying. Loyalty, trust. And looks as a
all
bonus.
the
I think everybody's saying the same.
Yeah.
Do you also look for a
everybody can
person
agree
with
with that.
similar interests of you? Because I wonder, no one mentioned that.
Sorry, Michele?
No one mentioned what?
Oh God, no! They don't have to have similar interests. They don't have to be in my pocket or doing the same.
No,
thing.
they don't have to like the same music. If somebody doesn't like the same music as you,
Is it Valentine's Day today or something?
No, we're just speaking about relationships because we have a topic and we're trying to stick to topic rather than having a shit show and everybody calling in and calling our names, and we're trying something out to see what works.
You know, there's a coup going on in Venezuela right now.
The thing is,
there's a damn political coup going on, and we're talking about relationships and how we want to feel.
Right, okay, well, you want to talk about the news. How do you feel about the news, and how do you feel about terrorists? And
well, I think that the coup going on is...
Did you see that man still alive in Baghdad? That guy
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. I mean, I guess you kind of expected that something like that was going to happen. They didn't seem very happy with their...
I thought it was Bin Laden.
Oh my God, you don't let anyone fucking talk. God damn it.
Okay. So what about friendship relationships? Because relationships doesn't just involve dating. What about the people that we know every day that we're friends with? I mean, they're a relationship and a little bit lower. I mean, not as significant, but they're still important as part of a relationship that people that we deal with every day. What about them? I mean, when you say relationships, almost 99% of people think you're talking about boyfriend, girlfriend. But what about the people that we know every day in our life? And they're just as much of a relationship. In fact, some of those that we've been friends with for long times could become...
Can I say something? That's why you lost a lot of your friends due to you picking someone over all your friends. And that is the truth. If you want to talk about friendships, you picked Rachel over a lot of people, and that's why a lot of people are angry, because you picked and you sided with somebody that no one knew, and somebody who'd paid and gave you money for years and who'd been there for years. You chucked him away. So if you want to talk about that, then we can.
Somebody said there's a big difference between friends and acquaintances, and I would have to say that depends on what you consider an acquaintance.
There's people who you go out and have a drink with that you wouldn't bring into your home with your kids. Like that's an acquaintance, like somebody you'd say, "Oh, I meet in the pub," but you wouldn't bring them home and have Sunday lunch with them.
I say Jessica is kind of in between, for example, a friend and an acquaintance, because I got to know her before she changed so much, and so I began to trust her, and I felt a little more confident with her before that she changed her ways, and now it's like, whoa, I don't know where I stand with Jessica today. Because sometimes people that you become friends with can change in ways that you have to rebuild their trust, and they have to rebuild your trust.
Have you not spoken to? Well, did you speak to Jessica? Have you spoken to Jessica when she's been?
I didn't speak to her today. I didn't see her today. She wasn't there at the soup kitchen today.
Sober-minded.
So that makes it kind of hard when she's not at the soup kitchen and she doesn't have a working cell phone. I can't call her. So unfortunately, that just adds a whole layer of complexity.
Have you saw her since the day that she had to leave?
I saw her yesterday.
Right, and what happened? Was she all right?
She was okay. She was actually very normal. She wasn't laughing like a hyena, that's for sure. She was really, really down to earth. I guess the term sober kind of applies because she didn't act like she was imbibing any kind of pharmaceutical. And that's important for SBs, is that we have to feel comfortable with the people that we know, even if they're just friends, because if they start doing things that make us uncomfortable, we tend to withdraw. And it's almost like part of the parasympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight. And it's like, oh my God, this person is laughing like a hyena, and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And
it was scaring you because you couldn't cope with. You were trying to cope with the chat. You were trying to cope with the phone calls, and you were trying to cope with Jessica laughing in another room or whatever. And it was too hard for you due to your condition.
Out of nowhere asked me, said, "Have you ever tried a dating site?" Yes, I was on two sites. I was on Mingle 2, and I was on Date Hookup. I'm still technically...
You should go on to one where there is people that have... And I don't mean it bad, because there's nobody that's with a sound mind that's going to say, okay, I'm going to fall in love with Michele and Lumi. This is what we were trying to explain to you. You have to find somebody who is going to understand it. We maybe understand it, but we wouldn't fall in love with you.
Google it.
Well, I think one of the things, another thing that when you also have physical handicaps too, like legal blindness, and you can't drive.
Yes.
That's something I don't know if the Undateables even talks about, is what happens if the person is registered blind and they can't drive, and so that they can't easily get out to meet the other person. That can really, really put a major issue in their lives.
Maybe you should go for... I really do. Is there no dating sites for...
Google has the answer for everything.
Farmers only. Yeah, I know the farmers only date site. There's a website in the United States called Farmers Only Dating Site. And I do know about it. I never tried registering on it, but I do know about the site.
Well, you should try registering.
Stuff like that. That's
it.
That's just for men that want a hook up.
Well, I'm not a farmer, so I don't think I would quite fit into the requirements of the Farmers Only website. It's not called Farmers and Homebodies Only.
And it's nasty, so I think you should date somebody that has a disability. And I know and that sounds as if I'm being nasty towards you, but I'm not. I'm being honest.
Somebody similar.
Yes, somebody that's going to understand Lumi and Michele.
Have you guys ever seen a movie called Mozart and the Whale?
No.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's about a man with Asperger's and a woman with Asperger's, and they start dating each other.
Where would you... Google is this. What Kirsty says, there should be a website where there is people that has the same condition.
It helps you because if you date someone that has a similar condition to yourself, because they know pretty much...
Well, there you go then.
You know, what you're going through. But at the same time, it also can result in from my personal experience,
Oh, yeah,
where
definitely.
you basically are
Oh,
limiting
God,
yourself to the
I
opportunities that
dated,
may be
I
presented
dated
to
some
you.
crazies. So my next one can't be mentally ill.
That's me fucked.
He is. I am not going crazy again.
Give you a $10 again.
Won't work. No, stop, Marie. Shut up.
Michele, what are you saying?
Oh, okay, I see the questions are coming up in the chat here about dual souled people dating dual souled. I mean, we're basically a very limited, endangered species. There's not too many dual-souled people on the Earth at this time. So,
Marie, shut up.
talk about really limiting your prospects. There's only like six, maybe about six of us in the whole world.
I don't think you're going to ever find one of them, and nobody's going to be looking for you. You're going to have to get yourself out there. You're going to have to like yourself, and then say, no, it doesn't work like that. Because you're on YouTube, you're like, hey, it's me. No,
Yeah,
what's that
you
song?
have to
I
do the
just
work,
came to
Michele.
say hello. Or what's Adele's song? Hello, it's me.
You're looking for.
Oh. And we're not making a fool of you, Michele. We're laughing with you, not at you. We're saying
J2Ed or JZ asks, a man and woman with Asperger's have a child. Will the child have super Asperger's?
Well, Michele can't have a child.
Can't have children.
I would have to say probably not super, but they may be either A, have no Asperger's at all, or they may have maybe the same level of Asperger's of both parents.
Hi, Jane.
So,
Schmeiko Cat, they are, Lumi and Michele are a perfect couple, but what's she going to do when she's older and she's herself alone? Is she just, would you like to just be single with Lumi? Would you like the rest of your life just to be with Lumi? Would you like physical somebody there, like seeing somebody eye to eye?
Jennifer is on chat. Hey, Jennifer, why don't you join the panel? Because we're talking about relationships and dating. And yes, Schmeckel, I agree, me and Lumi are very uniquely suitable for each other. But like I said at the beginning, we're going to try to focus this more for the 99.9% of the audience, which don't have two souls. But Jennifer can certainly speak for the transgender community if she wants to join the panel. Just come on in and click on the link, and you know how to do on Discord, and just join the chat because you're part of the group anyway. We could talk about how the dating world is to the transgender community.
Michele, I think you need to learn how to love yourself. I really do. I think you need obviously, I don't think you need a friend as in one of us. I think you need to see somebody, and you need to like yourself and have the confidence.
Yeah,
to
but
say,
over
right,
there, Stacey, it's not.
Could you
like
repeat that, Stacey? I didn't quite get that.
She has to pay for her medicine. I mean, I think it's shocking. I think it's absolutely I think it's shocking that she has to pay for her medicine.
Yeah.
Hey,
the way we can.
I'm feeling like isolated. Can you point me in the direction of a help group that's like,
Sad, it's really sad.
I could go in the doctors and do that, and it'd be a free appointment. They'd have
well,
to pay for that.
I've been offered into a group, like going into a group with people who don't feel like depression, like a while back. I mean, I think it's really like it's like America is like in the third world when it comes to things like that.
Well, I will say one thing, if I may speak up, and that is
that they fucking make pay for everything.
Yeah, I think it should be the government, especially with Donald Trump and the amount of money he's got. I think that it should be with your condition, Michele. You should be able to see a doctor or a therapist for free.
You know what would be nice is if Michele could get her damn teeth fixed. because I
That was
think,
it. Well, if you're
and
causing
also,
you pain, I mean, you should be able to see your dentist for free.
yeah, we can't see dentists for free. They don't give us free dentistry in the United States, and they don't do free dental repair. So,
You'll have to go and live with Stacy.
and that could be another topic for another day, which is UK's National Health Service versus United States' idea of medical coverage. But right now we're going to focus primarily on dating. But one of the things is,
Again, when you're doing another 420.
yeah, I agree. We should just focus on the dating today and not get on to a different tangent. Now, one of the things too with the dating for people with developmental disabilities, this includes Asperger's, autistic people of various levels, people with other developmental issues. Is it seems like their society is really specifically saying is you're like this TV show is titled called in the UK The Undateables. It's like, oh well, you don't need to date, excuse me, but I hate to be honest when I say this, but people really do want to have a sense of belonging somewhere, and that's important. Is that people want to feel like they belong. But it seems our society at large doesn't want these people to feel like they're part of our culture.
What's your age limits, Michele?
What's that?
If you're looking for a date, what age does it have to be?
What is the youngest and oldest person you would date? I would say probably between 40 and 60 because I'm 50, so 10 years younger, 10 years older is within a reasonable period for me.
I do 5 years either way.
Because at least if they grew up in the 70s and 80s, we would understand each other pretty well. We have a very similar background. Incoming call.
Sometimes they're so immature.
Go ahead, call. You're on the air.
Hey, Michele, tell Kirsty to unmute me.
Unmute you?
Yeah.
Are you muted?
Yeah.
Oh, let me check.
Why'd she do that?
I have no idea how, or who.
Should have about mods.
Yeah, what's the problem?
Well, right now on the group, I don't see anybody muted at this.
Michele.
What?
I want to ask you a serious question.
All right.
Do you think it's appropriate to have a channel full of moderators?
Michele, just ignore him.
I don't think the moderator's issue is the most important thing at this point.
Do you think it would look good to a new viewer?
No, I think
trying to manipulate you.
How am I trying to manipulate her? I'm asking her a simple question.
No, it is a serious question, and I understand that.
No. Let me finish my question, then we'll come back to you.
It's intimidating. I'm trying to help you, so fuck you.
Listen, I don't need your help.
Well,
I can ask her a
then.
question, and she can answer it. She doesn't need your help either.
She doesn't need your help.
Hold on a minute. First of all,
we're not giving her help. I'm asking her a question.
Right.
And I'm trying to answer that, and you're ignoring me.
I'm not here to talk to you.
Intimidating.
One moment.
I'm asking Michele a question.
You asked me a question about the channel with the moderators, why we have so many moderators.
Yes.
Well, because these people have been around for a while, and they have...
Did you not tell me a couple weeks ago that having a room full of moderators puts off new people?
Yeah, we tried it the other way, and the problem is that the mods were feeling like everybody felt like they were being punished because the wrenches were taken away.
Oh, so you're gonna make everybody have a wrench?
No, not everybody. Obviously, people that have been a while here, have at least
Where's my wrench?
Well, what's your
That's
name?
all he's bothered about.
Skynet.
Skynet?
That's the problem.
I don't even know if you're in the
No,
chat.
maybe you should just
What
wrench
do you mean you
everybody,
don't know
and
if
then
I'm
if
in the
somebody
chat?
fucks up,
I
take
just
it
told you that they muted me.
Okay, well, I'll give you
That's
the wrench, but like I said,
Oh, yeah. We got some feisty little girls on there.
but this is honestly, this is
They're
enough.
so smart.
Skynet, this is enough mods in this channel for a channel of this size. It's
Listen,
ridiculous.
I think you've got way too many mods.
Don't have
Way
one.
too
Why
many.
are you
I think you
bringing
should
in
go back
about
down to
Jen?
one.
All right, let me say one thing.
You know
I
who
want
think
one
should be a
thing.
mod?
Excuse
If
me.
I had to choose out of anybody in this entire
All right,
chat,
can I
somebody
finish what
that-
I'm saying?
Hold on, let me finish. If I had to choose anyone, I would give it to Sissy and Sissy alone.
Here's
Oh,
what
well, you don't
here's
have
the
to.
thing
It's on
that
your
I
channel. Go
want
and have a wank.
all of my people
I
to
can't
do.
understand a word she's saying because she's so quiet, but thank God I can't because she sounds like a fucking see you next
Why
Tuesday.
don't? No, I think you're correct. Maybe everybody should
I think
have
maybe
one.
the correct
and then
word over in
people-
Scotland is twat. Do you know what a twat is, my lady?
Excuse me, I'm talking.
Do you know what a twat is, my lady?
Here's what I'd like to ask all of you to do, wrenches or not. We need to get more subs and watchers
That's what
on
we're trying
this
to do.
show. Period.
Making a channel full of wrenches is not going to get you new subs.
You let people like Kim
I
interrupt.
do agree with you, and Lewis agreed with you,
Correct.
but the problem is
You have like 99% of your mods were female. You don't find that a problem?
that is a little bit unusual. No, it's not. It's not unusual at all.
I think it's a little uneven. I think first of all, when we both, I mean, you told me that the reason why you got rid of my wrench originally was because having a channel full of wrenches looks not only tacky, but it puts off new people. You agreed. You just said you agreed to that. Today, I see nothing but wrenches, more than yesterday, more than last time.
Right.
Somebody told you, give
Are
more
you gonna
wrenches.
hang up on him?
Hang up on him? I mean, who are these fucking
He's
women?
so
How,
fucking
Who?
annoying.
really?
Look at you. I mean, we're saying
this
to you,
is-
look, do you need
This
them?
is the
for
channel
people
you
like
want? You want them
and
on here
don't
telling people
shut
to
up.
hang up on them? This is the same group of women that told you to kick out Jessica, an actual person that was at your house,
No,
a
we
human
didn't.
being that lives in your neighborhood that you told to get out. They tried to say they were calling the cops on her. You find
We
that
wanted to go and calm
appropriate?
down. We didn't want her to leave. No, that was somebody else, not us. Sorry, you've got the wrong people.
Well, right
Listen,
now,
I heard what happened that day. You guys were all there. You were all
Yes,
encouraging
we were
her
all
to hang
there.
up on him.
God. Everyone, Skynet is on the phone bitching because he has
Skyner's on the phone. Alert the authorities. Call somebody who cares.
Hippie, don't share a stream to the drama community for fuck.
Hippie Peace Jessica was on on the show on Saturday and on Tuesday of last week. And
When I watched the other one, she was perfectly fine, and she was actually getting a laugh, and every day was funny. It was funny, but see that time she was maybe needing to take 10 minutes and chill out, but she maybe didn't need to leave. But
Listen, on that time, she was laughing at everything that people were saying. She would only laugh, and I watched it twice.
No,
once with my girlfriend, and once
shut
with
up.
Michele in a private
Michele
call.
could not
And
cope
both
with
times
that.
that we watched it,
actually,
why are
Jessica
you guys so
herself
fucking
said that
rude?
she was also feeling a little bit of anxious, and that's why she was kind of laughing too.
Which there's nothing wrong with. I would much rather have somebody at my house constantly laughing than fucking saying they're going to knock me in their face or get in my face and yell shit. Does anyone remember what fucking happened when she had Homeless Mike there, or should I play that audio?
Homeless Mike was very angry. There's a big difference.
Homeless Mike was very angry, not somebody you would want in your house, I agree. But Jessica, somebody laughing? Somebody that was probably high on marijuana?
All right,
Just laughing.
could we stick with the main topic today, Skynet.
Said he was gonna
Because,
do all day.
okay, first of all, you're
Skynet,
right.
have you got anything to say about
So
relationships?
let's talk about relationships. Now, you're a
Fuck
man.
off.
You have a
Go and
girlfriend.
wank your rent.
Okay. And when
We'll talk
you,
about
what do you,
friendships.
when
You
you're,
want to talk relationships? I want to talk about friendships.
we can talk about them too. That counts as a relationship
Talk about
also.
them.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So,
Talk
what do you
about
think
a
about
friendship
giving
as a
priority
relationship.
to
Just
other
talk about it.
friends? Are you for or against that?
For what?
Giving
So,
priority to specific friends instead of treating them like equals.
This is what we. This is why we. This is
Not
what
about a
we had.
relationship.
No.
We're talking about intimate relationships. We're not talking about friendship.
Oh, you don't want to talk
Michelle's
about friendships.
fine.
You just want to talk about relationships. Why?
no.
Yeah.
Friendships count as a relationship. Believe it or not,
Hey,
they
Michelle's
certainly
the fucking
do.
host here. She says that fucking friendships are okay to talk about. We can talk about friendships.
Okay.
All
All right. Well, let's talk about the friendship part of it. When you meet a new person, what makes you feel
Relationships.
that you and that person are going to become good friends? What do you look for in a friendship?
No, Michele.
Michele.
I look for people that are understanding, open-minded, very open-minded. I got to have open-minded friends. People that don't
that the relationship stream
force
has
their
ended.
ideas upon other people.
Michele.
People that like to help out
If
other
so, we are
people.
leaving.
People that are open-minded to other people's ideas. People that don't talk over
Let's
other
call a
people.
call a minute,
Right.
so we
Specifically,
can
people
end
that
what
don't
we were
talk
doing.
over other people are what I look for.
Don't talk over us.
Okay, so you're looking for people that, number one, is a friend.
Can listen.
You feel
You know?
that you have some
Okay, Stacey, let's go.
commonality
Okay.
with.
I like to have friends that will listen to me more than talk over
hang up.
me.
Okay.
Go 1, 2, 3. Go.
Okay. Now related to that, do you think friendships can become more than just friendships, Skynet?
hmm Yeah, sometimes I enter a relationship thinking, maybe someday we'll be better than friends, but sometimes you don't even think about that and it just happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's true.
And that's okay. I mean, it's one thing if you act on it, and you start acting weird about it. You gotta treat your friendship still like a friendship.
I think friendships are always a good start because when you have a friendship to start with, one of the things is that first thing that's important is you got to have some kind of common interest. If you don't have that, it's not going to work as well. And it doesn't matter if it's if you're aiming for a relationship or just good friends. A common mindset, I think, helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that does help.
And being open-minded.
Yeah.
It's not just about, thinking alike. It's about being open to other people's ideas and letting, maybe their opinions or thoughts or
I noticed that my
phrases.
co-host
Like, you
took
ever had a
off.
friend that, said a certain sentence and they just said it all the time, so you started saying it? You ever have that?
Yeah.
I got this friend that goes, "Wee."
So what's funny is that the only person that is actually on standby right now is Jennifer, Kirsty, and Scott. And Stacy took off. They're here in the chat, but they're not actually part of the speaking panel.
Well, I mean, if you ask them a question, they might reply, but right now they're being polite and letting us talk.
Okay, that might be. Yeah. No. And I think to answer your question, just briefly about the wrenches, it's not really the main thing we're going to talk about. Is
Right. I'm sorry to make that, a
Right.
topic for a period of time, but I do think you should reevaluate that and maybe not have so many.
well,
to
that's
begin with.
that's what Lewis wanted me to do, and the thing
Lewis wanted you to
was,
just make everyone wrenched.
it would be get unyieldy to have any more wrenches because there's just not enough
It's just
people.
crazy looking.
There's just not enough people in here to even have this many.
When you go into a chat room and all you see is mods talking, it makes it look like you as the regular viewer aren't as unique as everybody else in the room. You're the outsider.
I think what would be nice is if we had a way where you could actually... If you could actually hide the mod statuses so you don't feel like that, because, I mean, the blue wrenches stick right out. And I know that on my chat, or my Discord, you'll notice that the mods are in like a golden yellow, and then, of course, me and Lumi are in the purple. And I don't have as many mods. Well, that could be changed in the future. I think we should really consider that, about not having all those wrenches.
Yeah, just a couple, 1 or 2, at the most 3, you know, but like even then, like if that's all the people that are talking are just wrenches, you got a problem there. You might want to even just remove them just for the time being and add them later whenever, you know, you've got a bigger chat going on. But yeah, it looks really bad.
Yeah. Oh, I do agree. Like I said, you know, trying to find the right balance is, and it's the same thing in relationships too. Finding the balance between your needs and the needs of your partner is just as important, including with friendship. I mean,
relationships are a give and take thing, you know.
Yeah, the relationships are hard.
You're not always going to get the best, and it's up to you two to grow from it, though.
Like right now, when we started with the show, we were up to 16 people. We're up to 14 now. And so what we're trying to do is, another thing that we're trying to do is cover more everyday topics that I think the majority of the population is going to want to know about, which is relationships, especially among the Aspies, because they don't really seem to be a lot of people talking about what it's like to date an Aspie, what's it like to be an Aspie in a dating situation. Jennifer certainly can speak for the transgendered community in dating. I can't, because I'm not transgender. I'm a hermaphrodite, but I can certainly speak for the Aspie community because I'm Aspie. But, you know, one of the things I noticed with dating for me, bringing it back to the dating thing, is it seems like there's a group of people in the world. It's just like the song by the Rhythmics. Sweet dreams are made of this. And then she says, some people like to abuse you, some people like to be abused. And I think that for people with Asperger's or any kind of mental illness, it seems like we're always afraid that we're going to be abused. Maybe by the person isn't meaning to be harmful, but sometimes it just seems like we're afraid of potentially be getting hurt.
Well, I hope that you don't get hurt, and I hope you do find someone. I gotta let you go, though. I got someone coming over, but you have a good rest of your show.
Okay.
Right. You take care.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Jen, let me ask you that question now. On the transgender dating side of things, what do you look for in your dating experiences? Have you dated recently? What do you enjoy in a partner? Nathan is the son of Thor, and the other identity is God. Didn't it say he did? Okay, he too. And it said he didn't want a wrench. Okay. She lost us for that bad thing.
I've asked because.
How you doing, Jennifer?
I never dated in my life much.
When was the last time you went on a date with somebody?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, I really don't date so I'd be the worst person about this because I'm one of those undated.
Is there a reason why you don't date? Is it similar to my situation where you're just afraid of getting hurt?
No. People just like me as a friend, not a date.
Yeah, hold on a minute, please. Go ahead, call your in here.
Come on, man. Go get on that woodshed, man. You know, don't go on them dates, no begging, no deal there. What's on, man?
What? Can you repeat that?
Come on, man. Going on day roll begging down to the old steakhouse. You know, we go there on the old terminator truck and going down the road now. Come on, now.
Obama.
You want to get this old dude in the two shit jerking off? I'm going to beat my butt, man. Come on, man. Shit.
Oh, you're talking way too fast.
Hey, man, just set your headphone down, man. Come on, just listen to me, man. Come on, man. Come on, now.
Michele, just drop the damn thing. Please. All right. Okay, go ahead, Jennifer. We'll get back to what you're saying.
Well, I'm not a perfect person to talk about because I do have friendships and that's it.
Have any of you ever considered the people that you have friendships with, the ones that you know locally? Have you ever thought about maybe ever dating them?
Try and fail. No. I'm just a person that people like to be friends with. That's it.
Well, we'll take care of the wrench situation after the show, guys. Okay, let's focus on the show first, and then we'll deal with the wrenches later. So you have friends, but you're not interested in dating. Is there any particular reason why?
I suck at it. I suck at it big time.
Okay.
Go ahead, call your on here.
Come on, man. Why you hang up on me, man? Come on, shit. You know you ain't supposed to be hanging up on me. I'm going to
Kirsty, I need you over here, please. Or Scott or Stacy.
Man, just talk to me, man. Come on.
Jennifer, do you understand what he's saying?
On him.
What the hell are you talking about, man? Come on, man.
I don't even...
Texas, man. Come on, we got that dumb ball, man. Get on Trump. Get on, get this ball bill now.
I don't...
What you got going on, Dave? What kind of microphone you using?
Drop it! Oh, jeez, Michele, this is terrible. The show was going good, and then you turn the phones on, and it's goodbye, Charlie. Yeah, I know. Oh, my God. You know, we could take wrenches away.
Of course it went down here because I'm on, and that guy's making fun of me. That's it. That's why I don't date.
Yeah. He's mocking Jennifer. Yeah, I believe it. He's mocking me, too. The caller was mocking both of us. So I told you to drop the damn thing. What kind of microphone do I use? This microphone on my chest here is a Shure SM11 dynamic microphone, Lapo lavalier. This model here is a Pyle PD Mic 1 shell with an aftermarket replacement microphone cartridge. And
he is the mic.
All right, next caller. Go ahead, caller, you're on the air.
What's up, Michele?
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm wondering who's this Skynet, right?
No, this is Michael.
Oh, okay. How you doing?
Pretty good. I like the conversation when you're talking about love.
Well, we're talking about relationships, and I really kind of would like to stick with that topic instead of potentially going off on tangents. So I guess we could ask you, what do you look for in a relationship? This also includes friendship too, by the way.
Everything that Stacy provides. I love her. Hello?
Okay, I'm right here.
I love Stacy. She's my Scottish queen.
Okay,
That's
so in your case, when you are involved in a relationship, as I said, that includes friendship as well as relationship, because it is actually.
We're friends on Snapchat.
It's just a different level of relationship. Okay, let's start. So let's keep this simple. In the case of friendship and relationships, what are the qualities that you look for?
She definitely needs to sit in the front of the short bus. I don't like no backseaters.
Okay.
What about you?
So you're looking for somebody that you feel confident with, trustful.
Yeah.
The one that makes you feel like you're special to them.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand that part. I do. So.
Who am I talking to here? Is this Lumi or Michele?
What's that?
Is this Lumi or Michele?
This is Michele. You mean to tell me he can't tell the difference by now? I know. Well, I'll be honest with you, sometimes it is hard to tell the difference between the two.
When was the last time you were in a relationship?
Outside of me and Lumi, I would say prior to our marriage in May 1st of 2011, which will be our 10th anniversary. No, wait, 9th, you're right. 9th anniversary tomorrow, by the way.
I think you two should get married tomorrow. I think it's been long enough.
We've been together for 9 years because we got married in Beltane, and tomorrow's Beltane. Correct.
9
but
years was
prior
long
to
enough.
that, I have dated women. I have dated men.
Which one do you like the most?
There was a nice lady I knew prior to marrying Lomi many years ago in Willimantic. Her name was Cecile Larson, and she was this fantastic person, and we could have gotten really far. We were getting really close, but she was kind of married already, or kind of dating, actually not married yet, to Kim, which was another person I knew. So these two women, they were both women, and me, I just didn't want to become a homewrecker, so I kept my distance. I also was becoming very attracted to Sue, which had been on the show a few times in the past.
How old is Lumi? Like 150?
In the case of me and Lumi's relationship, since people do want to keep asking about this, we still have it. It's still a policy here, is if me and Lumi agree to have a third person in the relationship, the third person, number one, has to understand that that Lumi and I are a team as well.
You need like a Hulk Hogan to your Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, don't you?
Excuse me?
You need a Hulk Hogan to your Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, don't you?
Well, the point I'm trying to say is that, it's not really cheating because obviously Lumi knows.
When are you two getting married?
Where did we get married?
When are you getting married?
Me and Lumi are married.
Do you have 2 rings?
We weren't married on the earthly plane. We were married on the spiritual level, which is a little different. There's no marriage license.
Who put the ring on it, Lumi or Michele?
The one you're just talking to now is Lumi.
No, who put the ring on it, though? Who asked?
And the point is that, we have a spiritual marriage, not a temporal marriage.
Who decided to get married? You or her?
We both did. we both talked about it. We talked about it with Mother God, and then we decided that Beltane was a perfect time because that is when the divine masculine and the divine feminine joined together, and so it made sense to get married on Beltane, and that's what we did.
Do you wear a wedding ring?
Let's take a look
Michele, do you wear a wedding ring?
What's that?
Do you wear a wedding ring?
No.
Why not?
I don't wear any jewelry at all, really. I just wear the amulet around my neck. This is an Earth Harmony amulet, which is... I sleep with this thing almost 24 hours a day. The only time I take it off is to take a bath.
Do you like turtles?
And so this is a major part of my wardrobe, as it is. This piece here.
Do you like turtles?
Do I like clothes?
Turtles.
How do you spell that?
Turtles. Turtles.
Tongues?
Turtles.
Okay. I'm not sure. I think you meant thongs. Thongs?
Turtles. Turtles.
Okay.
You know, like Ninja Turtle?
I think so. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I haven't done any swimming lately, Rachel. I actually do not even have access to easily get up to the lake because it's up on a hill. It's like it's over 30 minutes away just to walk up the hill up to Lake Street to go swimming.
Do you wear a one-piece or two-piece bathing suit?
What's that?
Do you wear a one-piece or two-piece bathing suit?
One piece.
You look like you should get some sun, though.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, because of my skin tone, if I get too much sun, I also risk getting melanoma, so...
What kind of sunblock do you wear?
What kind of what?
Sunblock do you wear? When you go swimming?
Butt block.
Sunblock.
Oh, sunblock. I don't really wear sunblock much, but because I hardly ever go outside in the day. If I go out at all, it's pretty much late in the day or night or early morning.
Hey, do you want to talk to Steve? You want to talk to Steve?
Okay. Let me take a look at this discussion. Making it okay, the hub.
Steve said he wants to talk to you. Steve, telephone. Who the fuck is this?
Hey, Kirsty and Stacy, why don't you come on back in? Because right now we could...
Michele, if I had hair like you, I would shave it off and glue it to my face so I would hide from the world, bitch.
Okay. All right. Well,
Did your parents have to pay other kids to play with you as a child?
Okay. Well, thanks for calling. Appreciate
it. The majority of sperm.
Bye-bye. This is the reason I hate dealing with the phones. Amen. I really, really hate it. Because, number one, is we're trying to have a serious conversation, and we're trying to seriously turn this channel around and make it a better channel. And that's the effort. Rachel, you left them. No, they're still on. They're still on, I think. Yeah, Michelle's... Oh, yeah, they're still on, but they're not here. Go ahead, call you in the air.
Michele, greetings.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. A little bit busy, but I have managed to catch some of the show today.
Well, Paul, let me ask you a question since it's on relationships. Let's talk about relationships for a second.
Yeah, that's why I was calling in, for sure. What's the question?
Well, the first question is what do you look for in a relationship? When I say relationships, I can also include friendships as well.
For sure. I believe, pretty much what some of the people were saying earlier, honesty, loyalty. That's actually one of the things I was calling in about, is that I feel that as far as like maybe dating relationships go and friend relationships, you should always listen to people. You should always take friends' advice into consideration. Like if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're not sure, maybe your friends don't like that person, you don't necessarily have to. You don't necessarily have to stop talking to that person, but take the relationship advice and like the people's advice to heart, your friend's advice to heart.
Well, speaking of relationships, I noticed that in some couples there is this policy where if you're going out with me, you can't talk to so and so, or you can't be with that person. In other words, that person is trying to control you to the point where you're not allowed to speak up your mind, even if you're just friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. I've seen that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. No one should ever tell you that you're not allowed to see or talk to somebody, but like, as far as a relationship would go, if you're dating someone, maybe if your spouse doesn't like a certain person because you maybe have some history with the other person, maybe like they're an ex-lover or something of yours, then that might be something to take into consideration. But if they just don't like the person because they don't like the person, then yeah, that's not fair for you.
Yeah, but even when you're dating that person, okay, like if you and that person you're dating really, really have a strong bond, they don't need to set ultimatums like that because they already know, because the chemistry is good and maybe friendship or whatever, that they know that they're going to always be your first one. But when you start setting up rules like, okay, like you can only date me, you can only hang out with me, anybody else can go suck eggs, that scares the hell out of me. Because I know, especially in the 21st century, you're more than likely you're going to be playing the field. And even if you're not playing, and you know the other person may want to play, who am I, for example, to say you can only date me, you can't date Susan, you can't date Sally, you can't date Richard, you can't date Joe, or you can't hang out with Timmy or Tammy. I mean, it's like that's not a relationship. That's a controlling act. That's what I'm trying to say. So you almost need to be like a team.
I believe that's called polyamorous. Like you can. I believe most people would want a one-on-one relationship with somebody, and they wouldn't want other people to date. But
I'm right here. I'm just trying to get the people back on the chat.
Take your time, Michele. Take your time.
But I mean, is why do people think that they have to do that, or they have to feel like that they have to control the other person? Is it because are they suffering from insecurity of their own?
They may be, but again, if I'm dating somebody, I wouldn't want them dating another person. If I'm in a relationship with somebody, like I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone who's dating somebody else.
Because if you ask me, that sounds like a big giant wet blanket on any potential relationship. If you're actually you're trying to give ultimatums, it doesn't sound very convincing. It makes you look like it looks like you're a control freak.
Yeah, you should never give an ultimatum. You should always help someone to become better. But I would never give someone an ultimatum like, if you don't do this, or this, I won't date you, or we're through, or that's not right to do to someone. But you can always help. You can always try and help someone become better. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I was just saying that you should definitely take your friends' opinions as far as relationship goes, because I'm in a relationship now. I'm very happy. But the last relationship I was in, I had hundreds of people telling me that this person was no good for me, and I didn't want to listen to them, and in the end they were correct. I was unhappy and depressed, but I think, Michele, if you and Lumi want to find someone, there's definitely going to be someone out there for you. You just have to go about the means of finding them. You have to put yourself out there. They're not necessarily going to come to you,
Right. Well, like Michele and I said, is that we're fortunate. We do got each other, but Michele did like some people, and still does like those people. The problem is that some people don't, they do ask this question: how can you date somebody else who you're already married to below me? And it gets complicated because then they're talking about things like, well, then you're cheating. No, because if it's not quite the same. Okay.
Right.
And then, of course, like Michele said, she liked someone named Sue. Now, Sue is really awesome. I like Sue. We kind of both like Sue. But she was going out with a guy named Rick. And Michele was like, wait a minute, I don't want to be a homewrecker. I mean, they're supposedly going to get married. They weren't married yet. But, she said to me, what the hell am I supposed to do? Because I think she was really an awesome person, and Michele and her really gelled well. But Michele was like, I don't want to be a homewrecker. I don't want to potentially ruin, Sue and her boyfriend's thing that they have going. And I think that's just it, is that Michele is so afraid of scaring the other person away that she's willing to not even say, hey, I like you. Because she's afraid that either A, the person's going to laugh in her face, which has happened, unfortunately, when she tried, or they're going to say, I'm sorry, but I've already got somebody. And in the case of Sue, Michele knew she really did. But yet at the same time, Sue had said to Michele, I don't think it's going to work out between me and him. And Michele and Sue were talking about, well, it'd be kind of neat if we could work together, which Michele was up to, but unfortunately her landlord, because he was throwing out her boyfriend because he didn't pay the rent. And so unfortunately he told Michele straight up, sorry, Sue cannot stay. She's going to have to go too. Even if you were to have a relationship with Sue, Sue can't live here. Sue can't be here. Sue has to go elsewhere. You would have to go ahead and consider moving too, because just to be with Sue. And that was like, Michele was like, I can't do that. I don't have the ability to do that. So in this case, it's almost like the same thing where a person's giving ultimatums. How in the hell are you supposed to date somebody who, when the landlord is saying you can't even have in your home?
No, understood. First of all, did you get feelings? Do you think that she had feelings, that Sue had feelings for you back? Do you think that she reciprocated? Like, you liked her, but do you think she liked you as well, Sue? The girl with the husband?
Go ahead. I didn't quite hear that, Paul.
I was saying, do you think that Sue had feelings for you as well? Do you feel
I think so. I think she did. She did say that she did like me. But she's also was concerned because of the fact that the man that she's living with was a pill popper.
Yeah.
And so she was concerned that he may actually, potentially take it a variety of ways, because he can sometimes, when he's popping his pills, he can be really absolutely positively ambivalent.
I get that, Michele. And listen, I'm going to have to take off here in a little bit, but I can tell you this. If you want some things in life, sometimes you just have to go for them. No matter what you think the consequences may be. Okay, if you like somebody, right, and you tell them that you like them, and they say they don't like you back, what's the worst thing that can happen from that? You're basically right back from where you started. So then you just move on to the next person and then do the same thing. If you like somebody, whether you think they like you or not, tell them anyway. I mean, what's the worst that could absolutely happen? Like, you're still in the same situation that you are from the start. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, don't hold your expectations too high on things. If you have no expectations, you won't have any disappointment, But yeah, you definitely have to just go for it sometimes and go after what you want in life. If you always sit back and wonder what if, then you'll never know. I think
what it really is, though, it really makes it harder for a person with Asperger's in dating, or even if they're thinking about dating, is we don't want to get in the middle of a confrontation. I think majority of the time we much rather just be alone than potentially cause hardship. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I'm listening, Michele. I'm sorry. I'm still here. I'm listening.
I said is we're the kind of people, Aspies especially, are not the kind of people that like to create confrontation and hardship.
Yeah, no, I understand that. No, I get that. Yeah, so it may be hard to approach somebody maybe with something like that. No, I completely I get that. I guess you just have to overcome it. I mean, whether you're Asperger's or not, you can't use that as an excuse. I mean, I'm not saying it is an excuse, but you can't use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that make any sense to you? It's just something you'll have to overcome. If you know you have it, then overcome it. Just say, okay, I know it may be the Asperger's talking, so let me try it anyway. Or maybe, like I said, if you're around people, if you say you're around somebody you like and you have other people around you, maybe get their opinion who are your friends. Like I said, always value some of your friends' opinions. Always
even in just friendship, we have problems because so many people with Asperger's, when it comes to the social level, we're just like, in some ways, we're kind of like children. It's like we have a hard time understanding the social cues. We don't mean to be we don't mean to be ignorant. It's just, and then of course you're legally blind. On top of that, you may not even see the physical social cues, and so people tend to think that either A, we're like a golden retriever that wants to be petted, have you rub our bellies. Yet we don't know if you are feeling the same way or if you're a Rottweiler and you want to rip her hand off. We don't know, and then we get scared. It's like, I want to be, I want to find the right person that makes me feel good, and I think that person does, but I don't know if that person is just playing a game with us or if they're serious, if that makes any sense.
I get that, yeah. Yeah, and you just question it. I get it, yeah.
So, I mean, especially because we spend so much time studying the subject. It's like when Aspie said, one thing that he said I can say to us is, stop thinking so damn much. And I kind of giggled when I saw this video. I was like, oh yeah, I get it 100%, trust me. But it's like, we're always thinking about 5 steps ahead, and that makes any sense. And we're always like thinking 5 steps ahead. Is this guy really, or this gal, whatever it may be, a guy or gal? I've dated both, trust me. Is this person really like, okay, is this person good? Is this person that good? Is he cheating? Is he basically just wanting me for just basically to park his car in my garage? Is he looking for just friendship with benefits? What is he looking for? And then the same thing with women friends. It's the same thing. And it's like, I don't want to get hurt, and I don't want people to think I'm trying to hurt them. So obviously, like in the case of Sue, I didn't want to get in the middle between her and her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because nobody likes a homewrecker. Nobody likes a homewrecker.
Well, maybe with the two, what one of the ladies was saying earlier was maybe trying to find a social group or something.
But even Sue said that she wanted to get away from him because of his pill popping. So,
you should have went for it. You should have approached her and said, "Yeah, come move in with me." Or something. I mean, I don't know how close you guys were, but I gotta get going, Michele. I don't want to tie the lines up as well, but I feel that you should listen to your friends, your close friends. Their opinions are valued. You should value their opinions, and B, if you do want something, try and overcome the disabilities you may have and just go for it. Because again, what's the worst that can happen? You're just going to wind up in the same situation you are right now, right? What's the worst that could happen? So I think you should. I'll leave you with that, and I hope you have a good rest of the show. And I'll try and message you soon. Like I'm pretty busy, but try and message you sometime soon. All right.
One of the things is that as far as Sue goes, I haven't seen her now for a few months. Actually, I haven't seen her since about 2018, and in the summer.
Not that long. That's last year.
And so she had to pay me a visit a couple around November or it was October, and we didn't get a chance to talk a lot. But because she had to get ready for work, but she came to come by and said hello, and we talked. But we didn't really talk about anything like heavy. It was just like, how you doing? How's the cats? Because Dusty was one of her favorite kitties, and Dusty, by the way, is doing fine, of course. But the thing was, so.
Do you have a way to contact her, Michele? Do you have a phone number or
I have a way to reach her on Facebook Messenger. Yes.
Yeah, you should just say hello and start up a conversation with her and see where that goes.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't talked to her for a year, life's too short. Don't even worry about that year that passed. Just live in the time now.
Well, see, the thing is that this guy that she's with, he's like, she's really doesn't want him to know what the hell's going on because she's concerned about her safety. And so I'm like, oh, wait, that's why she doesn't want me to call her.
Excuse me.
She doesn't want me to call her because of that reason, because she's afraid he's going to see my number on the calling logs.
Well, there you go. Give her a Facebook. Message her on Facebook.
So there's a situation where he's basically controlling and manipulative, and I can see where, like I said, when people try to basically say, hey, you can only go out with somebody that I approve, it's not a friendship, that's not a relationship, that's a control freak trying to tell you who you're supposed to date.
Yeah.
And that's scary as hell, let's see. Any comments here?
Michele, I'm gonna leave you. Like I said, I want to the phone lines up, and I have to go. But I'll talk to you soon. I hope you have a great day in the chat as well. Hope everyone has a good one. Paul Danino out. Take care, everybody.
Okay. Thanks, Kenneth. Paul. Sissy, it's complicated, but you see, that's just it. This is the reason why dating for me is an enigma, because it's so hard. Is that the main focus of friendship, relationship? I mean, just relationship potential going more than just friendship, where you're going to worry about where you're going to put your car? Is that it? Is that all? I mean, it seems thanks to the free sex movement in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, especially 70s and 80s, it seems like everybody wants that. I want to shag tonight. Let's groove tonight. It says separate time. It says, really, that makes it really hard for some people. That's actually sad. Okay, let's talk about that. When I said that, I thought that maybe I was converted as a baby by a surgeon in a hospital, in an operating theater. Okay? I was not converted by a surgeon in a hospital, in an operating theater. I am 100% pure kosher. There is no additives, colors, or flavors, or preservatives. So the point is no one sewed me up. It's just the way I'm built naturally. It's not, which is good, because it's not like somebody in a back alley somewhere basically had me drink a bottle of vodka, have me pass out, and basically take some catgut and stitch me shut, if that's what you mean. Thank God, no. I wouldn't have even allowed anyone to do that in the first place. But no, I was not converted. I am 100% natural. Pure natural, as I said. Let's like Hebrew National hot dogs. No additives, colors, flavors, or preservatives. 100% pure kosher. And, which unfortunately does make it a challenge, because some people are like, say what? How did God make you like this? How did God give me Asperger's? How did God make me legally blind? How did God give me deafness? Never mind asking the rhetorical questions that would be almost impossible to answer, but we can answer some of them. It's all of my life charts. These are challenges that I actually chose before I came here onto Earth to use to help me to overcome things that I need, experiences that I needed to learn and master. Makes the most sense. Makes the most sense, and it also makes me feel a little bit better knowing that I am the one who agreed to do this. And then, of course, me and Lumi have already been working on our own life chart for our lives after this life, which is what are we going to do next life? Me and Lumi have decided in next lives is we are physically going to be two separate people. And that our plans is to settle in a parallel Earth that is set in kind of a Victorian type of environment where I could raise a family. And Lummy would be the father. That was what we've agreed on. That's what we're working on for our next life chart. Most people don't do this until they pass away and they're on the other side. We're already working on it ahead of time. So, and that's important. And that would be a great topic for your channel, is we work on our life charts ahead of time. We could go through that. We could discuss that on my channel. Like I said, I don't think this is really the place at this point on this show, since it's the relationships. Let's focus on that. It's too easy to get sidetracked, and then, and that's not what we want to do right now. Okay, let's talk about cheating. Oh, cheating. Because everybody keeps asking about that. If you and me were married, we share the same physical body, but we're married to each other. And let's say I dated Dory, and you and I originally agreed that me dating Dory was that we had mutually agreed. That was what we agreed on. The standard was that's the minimum rules. That both people have to speak up on that. It's not just one or the other. Right. And it obviously Dory herself didn't feel like she could compete with Lumi. Because even Dory said is you love Lumi more than you love me. Which is, I hate to say it, it's true. I mean, after all, you live with someone with you 24/7, 365 days a year, who has seen you in every possible way you could ever imagine. It is almost impossible for a completely separate person to understand that is like, that camaraderie, that special union. But Dory, likewise, had her own interests, and they weren't necessarily with me, which I never had a problem with that. And so I think Dory, however, was hoping that I was going to be taking offense to the fact that she wanted to spend time with her grandchildren. I never did. I just hey, if you want to be with your grandkids, you want to be with your grandkids. I don't have a problem with that. But I don't think she was expecting that. I think she was hoping that I was going to be the kind of person to say, stay with me, let's snuggle. I didn't mind snuggling, but honestly, I already snuggle enough with Lumi. I think that's another thing, that's another wet blanket to a relationship. When you're trying to date someone with twin soul and they're intimately tied to that twin soul, being physically in the same body. I mean, how are you supposed to compete with somebody that is so perfectly overlaid upon you? It's almost like the Abigail and Brittany Hensel twins. You got these two girls, they're conjoined twins. They're sisters, okay? And yes, they did go to college. Yes, they do get the degrees. Yes, they are now married. They're marrying two different guys. How is that going to work? I mean, they're not married to each other. They're marrying two separate people at the same time. So, but obviously, I bet the two guys are probably saying Abigail and Brittany understand each other so intimately because they share the same body and the same physical desires and sensations, and yet we can't compete with that because we can't get as close. Those two are almost perfectly overlaid. It's the same way with me and Lummy. It's like, how can you explain that to a third party? How does it like to have that when you wake up with Lummy in the morning? And then sometimes she sleeps later than me. So then I wake up first, and of course, I can sense her and her part of the body is she's got the equivalent of the sign on the door that says "Do not disturb," because you can almost sense her metaphorically snoring away on the other side of the door. And I don't mean that offensively. I know what you mean. Don't worry about it. Besides, the biggest snorers, both of us. But yeah. But so obviously the point is that for people that is so unusual that they can't quite get it. And I just don't know how to explain it to the average audience person here. You can't. They have a foursome, a mutant. Hail Mary, this is so messed up. Well, they both come at the same time. Actually, in the case of Abigail and Brittany Hensel, they're two separate heads attached to the same physical body. They used to have a third arm. They got rid of the third or the arm so that they could be more symmetrically balanced. But they share completely the same biological organs underneath. They're both female. They have three lungs. They have three lungs. But mostly the circulatory systems, I think, are combined. The circulatory systems are combined. The sexual reproductive organs are combined. It's one uterus, two fallopian tubes, and one digestive system. But it's such an unusual arrangement for conjoined twins. And I'm sure if that was the mother, I probably would have said, well, should I go ahead, doctor? And I tried to separate them, and the doctor probably said, well, unfortunately, you tried to separate the two. One's going to end up dead. And me jokingly one time said once before, what are you going to do? Put us on the table saw and cut us in half? Oh, obviously, for the Abigail Brittany Hensel, they couldn't even go that far. Then they're awesome girls too. They're just fantastic. I can't really explain how that works, but it's just one of those unusual things in nature that you can either just say I can understand it, or maybe you can't. I can, Lemmy can, because we're almost like perfectly overlaid. But there's the Abigail and Brittany Hensel are probably the closest thing for people to understand me and Lomi. In fact, I'm surprised that Jennifer doesn't try to draw. Actually, she kind of did. She kind of drew picture of two women next to each other, and one of them had like long hair that was blonde, and then was like a darker brown hair, and then just try to draw the same woman with two heads sticking out of the top, which is the Abigail Brittany Hensel. They're they're wonderful people. They're just great people. Two men are going to shag one VJ. Yeah, I guess that's where it's got to go, right? I don't really understand how it's that's something that's obviously important for the two men to understand, that they're that's hard enough to understand for conjoined twins. And yes, I did hear about some conjoined brothers as well. It's kind of similar, except they're combined, they're conjoined at the belly. That must be really weird because one is going forward while the other is walking backwards, and it's like, you only mostly see each other. I don't know how that would be, but like I said, me and Lumi are almost perfectly overlaid. You can't really see the difference. That there is a difference. And you can. Some people have said they can see it in the face. When Lumi talks, my face changes. Not a lot, but enough that you can tell it's not Michele. And when it's Lumi, the face changes. It changes, but it's not. It's not super major difference. Yeah. Kirsty, I don't always mean to do that. I really don't. It's my brain gets confused between the two pronouns. I don't think they're monsters, Schmickle Cat. I mean, they're good people. Yeah. Conjoined twins is another whole area of fish that is so unusual, relatively speaking, that I don't think it's just that Abigail and Brittany Hensel are almost like so much for me and Lumi is probably the best way to explain me and Lumi. Because they are physically, you got two heads on one neck. I think there was a Futurama episode about that. There was, or actually it was not Futurama, it was a Simpsons episode. Yeah. I know the episode you're talking about where, oh, come on, Misty, get down. Where Homer Simpson and George and Mr. Burns were put on the same body. I think Mr. Burns ended up on Mr. Simpson's neck. I do remember that. And I think there was also a Futurama episode, too, of the same thing. You ever jerk off to gymnasts' porn? No. Well, right now. So it's 4:05. What did you think of today's show? I think the show started out good. I think we had starting to have a good dialogue. I think if I look at the show on the overall situation, it was good. I do agree with Skynet, and I do agree with all the wrenches issues. If I take the wrenches away to maybe make people feel less intimidated, I don't want people to say to me that they think I'm being mean or something. Because, I mean, honestly, guys, I got to find a way to get this channel in better standing. Sissy said to me earlier, well, there's only two major drops of YouTube, which is drama and comedy. And I don't think it's just drama and comedy. I mean, you also got demos, you got unboxings, you got technical videos, you have a lot of different content. And so it's not just drama and comedy on YouTube. And I'm trying to find a way to reach out to an audience that is looking for something more substantial in a positive way, knowledge-wise, if that makes any sense. What a leotard. I'd love to give everybody a chance to co-host. Absolutely. I agree with 1,000% about that. And I think that Kirsty and Stacy, you did a good job to start with, and I think that you should be willing to come back on again. Jen has co-hosted a few times. Pop has been on here a few times. I didn't have Pop on today. I don't even think he's here. I don't think he's here. No, he's not. No. And And so, yeah, I definitely am open to getting more people on the show, but I think I agree we got to get rid of the extra wrenches. I think that's going to really seriously scare the living bejesus out of anybody who's going to come into the channel as a newcomer, because a room full of wrenches makes you feel like you're in a moderator symposium, and you don't know if you're going to get somebody mad and all of a sudden get, 5 or 6 wrenches throwing you out of the channel. I have to tell you, I can understand their feeling. And so I think we need to really seriously find balance here. I'm open to talk about that one-on-one if that's what it takes. But I think maybe Lewis was right here, that there's just too many wrenches. Because, I'm trying to really seriously turn this channel around. And it's just like the country song goes, give me 40 acres and I'll turn this rig around. It's the easiest way that I found. Some guys can turn on a dime right downtown. Give me 40 acres and I'll turn this rig around. And this rig is an old giant Peterbilt tractor trailer truck. That's what the song's about. Okay, well, this channel is the same way. I need to turn this damn rig around. We got to get the subs up. We really do. Oh, yes, I do have another channel. You have a channel on Vimeo. Vimeo, which is only right now set up for videos. It's not set up for live streaming, which is available at a much higher price tier than I can afford. But it certainly is an idea for the future. We all know that Google has already said that Google is starting to show cracks in its portfolio with YouTube, and how long before YouTube, which is right now is Alphabet's cash cow, ends up becoming a stog, becoming a lost leader, or possibly a dog. Right now it's doing good, but I don't know how long YouTube's administration can keep doing what they're doing and alienating their core producers and audiences. 12-volt Vince, for example, on his channel, had a video on an Android streaming TV box on his channel for 2 years, and YouTube paid him advertising revenue for 2 years. And then in the manual review, they decided that his video should no longer be monetized. And what did they do? They demanded he paid back over 2 years ad revenue from that video. And he was so upset because he was like, for 2 years, they paid me for my content and for advertising. And now they're telling me that I must pay them back every red penny from the 2 years. When they just demonetized it and they didn't tell me why. I think that's an example of what YouTube has become ambivalent to the content creators. And so they're all basically asking the same questions. Should we go to another platform? Because this is not productive to keep being on a channel when we're going to be punitively punished retroactively just because somebody doesn't like a video we do. And I know last time I was on the YouTube Partner Program, I was spending most of my days protesting and appealing demonetized videos. Go ahead, call, you're on the air.
Hey, bitch, this is Steve.
Who's this?
This is Steve. I just want to make a comment that they demonetized my Pornhub videos.
Uh-huh.
And I'm out of $35,000. They didn't see my check last month. My partner, Michael, and I did some videos on there of mutual masturbation. I had over 14.k views. They didn't send me my money.
So let me see if I got this correctly. You got videos on your channel that were demonetized, and now they want you to give back $35,000.
No, they ain't gonna pay me my $34,000.
Oh.
There's a bunch of mutual masturbation videos on Pornhub. They demonetized all of them.
I've heard people having their entire channels demonetized just because somebody at YouTube.
I had over 300 videos and each about over 14,000 views each.
Yeah, well, it's just the thing is that bothers bothered 12-volt vids, and what bothered Michele was kind of the same thing, is that YouTube, when Michele had YPP, was constantly demonetizing videos. And every fucking day, Michele would have to get there and keep appealing, and she's spending more than, 3 hours a day just filing appeal after appeal after appeal. This is in 2016. And they never told Michele specifically why the robots were demonetizing her content. Sometimes the computer would demonetize her content before she even puts the damn video up. Like a live stream, like this live stream, for example, by default would probably ended up demonetized. And then she'd be like, why did you demonetize it? It wasn't even on the air yet.
I think you should probably switch to Pornhub, like me and Michael did.
Oh, I know one thing Michele and I have been talking about is we're going to get in contact with Susan Wojcicki, and we're going to have a word with her.
What do you think about doing some Fortnite videos?
Excuse me?
What do you think about doing some Fortnite videos?
What I'm just trying to say is that what YouTube did to 12-volt vids, and what YouTube did to the original people in the YouTube partner program, and then throwing us to the curb, and then making us basically feel like crap. And the point is then they took.
Just don't care about YouTube.
What I'm trying to say is that Michele, still feels that these people are being wronged.
I think Michele needs to kick down some doors and whoop some asses.
What's $8,000?
$14,000. I ain't sending my damn money.
Well, I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Hey, you ever take that microphone there and just rub around the edges and pretend it's a ball sack?
Oh, you're talking about that?
Yeah, that's what me and Michael did on our videos.
See, you're talking about reproductive organs, huh?
Yeah, the male version.
Okay.
Hey, you said Lumi was 150 years old, right? So they didn't have abortions 151 years ago, huh?
What does he mean? I don't know what he means. I'm having a hard time figuring it out.
Listen. Lumi's 150 years old, right? So they didn't have abortions 151 years ago. Get it?
Uh-huh. Yeah, 1973, Roe versus Wade. Yeah, I get it.
No, you don't need Roe versus Wade back 151 years ago. All you need is a bottle of Jack and a good punch in the stomach.
I don't really think I want to go there right now. No.
Hey, you have a lot of clothes hangers in your house?
Now, I don't really think I know. I don't think we want to go there right now. I really think that this is, first of all, the show is getting a little longer than we need to.
If you ever get impregnated by one of the dudes from the soup kitchen, you should just get a clothes hanger and just fish it up inside of you.
All right, well, look, Steve, thank you for calling. We'll talk on Discord, okay?
I love you.
Excuse me?
I love you.
Have a nice day, please. Holy Christ. Michele, why? You're right. These phone calls are awful. Yeah. And the chat group the panel group was really good. Let's talk about what we liked about today's show, because I think it was important to consider the things that we liked. Number one, we had a great panel, and I was really enjoyed listening to the panel with Kirsty and Stacy, and that was fantastic. And then we got into a couple phone calls, which totally sidelined the whole damn thing. Fortunately, we were able to bring some of them back onto the main track. And then again, now this guy's talking about something completely different. And so, I mean, how are we going to keep the show from getting off on tangents? I don't know, Lom. I really don't know. The phones are definitely not helping. And it didn't help any that we really didn't get a chance to read any of the chat questions either. I'm sorry about that, guys. It does happen. We really didn't get a chance to read all your chat questions. Sometimes Steve don't make a lot of sense. Yes, exactly. Let me should have been aboard, he's saying. Well, I don't think that would make any sense. It's again, this is just the kind of thing that we don't need to go through. Because this is the kind of stuff that starts controversy. And in some ways, maybe Michelle's lucky she can't always hear well. Because otherwise, if I had heard that, I probably would have said something that we would regret. I like the start of the show when nobody was talking. Well, I like the show at the beginning with Stacy and Kirsty and Michele and me. And it said when the phones come on, it's like goodbye. It's like everything started to get crazy. And also, we're going to be getting rid of a lot of wrenches. So, you guys, just to understand, like Skynet said, is that right now there's too many damn wrenches on here. So, for tomorrow, when you come on, you will notice you're wrench free for the most part, except for the original 4 that we agreed to have wrenches. And, I might throw in maybe 1 or 2 more people, but that's about it. People that I know are really trying to make the show great again. And, yeah, exactly. Those people, you know who you are, the good ones, the ones that have been trying really hard to help Michele take this channel from 0 to hero, or at least 0 to somewhat of a hero. Oh, that would have been cool to see Michele. The reason Michele hardly ever gets mad is because it starts controversy when people see Michele start blow up and scream. Michele is normally doesn't like getting that way, and she would prefer to keep things. Her temper can get really, really out of control. You talk about homeless Mike exploding. Well, you never see Michele go off. And you got to combine Italian and Norwegian temper, and that thing can be sussy. Well, what about you? You're Finnish. Yeah. That's another layer of temper. Yeah. Yeah, Kirsty would probably be one of the people keeping the ranch. So that's. Well, look, guys. The point here is, it's just like Skynet said. It's just like Lois said. It's the same thing. How many new people are we getting on the show? Is it because they're afraid to talk and be part of the chat because of all the blue wrenches? Or is it because we don't really have content? Or is it a combination of both? I think it's a combination. I think it's a combination of both. I don't think it's that we don't have good content. Well, let's take a look at something here. I'm using my phone here for this. Let's take a quick look at right now. Where as we stand, right at this moment, incidentally, right now. We have 443 subs. So we gained a sub. But we're not really growing. And that's what Michelle's afraid of. If she can find the right show that can bring in she wants the loyal viewers. She wants the viewers that are willing to be part of the show, that want to feel welcome to the show, 100%. The problem is that something is keeping her in the lower, in around the 400s range. How are you supposed to expand your channel if people don't really feel like your show is worth sharing with their friends? It's so hard. And Michele, like when Stacy said to Michele, let's talk about relationships, Michele said, hey, that's not a bad idea. I agreed. It was a great idea. We did, and I think we did okay. And then we got into the phones, and it was like, oh, that's not going to go well. The phones just don't seem to do it with the show. Yeah, that would make sense. Yes, it is our first day, and we are going to keep working on it. We are going to keep going. I am sure that on Saturday, which will be a much more busy day, we could cover more of this topic, and we'll probably have more viewers. We're up to 16 today. 16 interactive people on chat watching the show. We're up to 16 people, which is a great thing, and we should continue this. This is what the show needs. Agreed. We had up to 16. We had gotten some interest. We had a good title that we changed the title before we even announced the show. And people, I think, did find more interest to at least to come on and check it out. Taking to Lumi and show now talk privately. Oh my, go, I'll share it to the disabled community. That would certainly not hurt. I help you have topics. Yes, we need to work on the topics. Absolutely, we got to work on the topics. Because you know what? Even if we had 1,000 subs, and even if we had the ability to live stream again from our phone, if we don't have good content, we're going to lose those 1,000 subs. And when we lose our 1,000 subs, we lose our live streaming from our phone again. If we can get our streaming from our phone. And the YPP requirements are very specific that you have to have 1,000 subs and you have to have 240,000 minutes within a 12-month period of time. So we have to find ways to get more content and keep going. We have to keep growing and going. Because when YouTube looks at your application or your channel, the first thing they're going to want to do is they're going to look at your content. What kind of shows are you doing? Is it going to be something that advertisers are going to want to put their investment into? If the show is so controversial or so questionable in quality and in topics that the content producers are going to get basically laughed out of town by the advertisers that are going to be potentially bidding on the show to produce content on it. So you have to basically, if you want to get on the trending page, which right now would be possible if we can get enough people watching the show. And this show could easily have been a trending video. Easily. We had a topic that is a major topic. It is a topic for so many people who are especially disabled or who have, even not disabled. I mean, it almost cuts across the ability and the disability line. There are people who are fully able-bodied and are neurologically typical, as we call them in the ASB community. They have a hard time with relationships too. This content speaks to so many. And it includes friends. And it includes boyfriend, girlfriends. It includes transgender. It includes hermaphrodites. And we can take that content and we can go so far with it. We need to, or this channel is going to starve to death from malnutrition, from the lack of content, and we don't want that to happen. And for YouTube content creator, if you're not willing to take a chance and say, okay, look, let's do something different because otherwise I'm going to lose my core group of audience. And then when you only have like the regular 12 that come in on the chat, and that's it. And there's no new people coming in, and there's no new subs, and there's no new people asking questions. Those people, and then, of course, it relates to what Lewis said about the blue wrenches. When they see all the blue wrenches, they swear to God, they think it's a wrench convention because they're not going to want to open their mouth because they're afraid that they're going to be basically wrenched out of existence. Even if they meant to say something right and they said something that came out wrong. Exactly. I think a lot of people are disabled. I don't think it's a surprise that a lot of people on this channel have disabilities in one form or another. Some may be more than others, but the point is, I think almost everybody on this channel has a disability of some sort. So that makes it easier for some people to understand that we're all in this together. If that makes any sense. It does. It does make sense. But the problem is how do we get open? How do we encourage? We have to present something that the large audience of YouTube is going to want to jump into. They're not going to want to sit there and listen to me and Lumi talk about a particular topic that only seems to interest just a few of us. What about Pop? He likes to talk about Bulgaria. He says he likes to cover other things, but it seems like Bulgaria is his main thing. That's why I didn't have Pop on tonight, because I didn't really want to potentially start into the Bulgaria thing. And I really felt that we needed to cover more topics. And I do feel bad for him. I really think he can be a really good, very smart. He's very smart. But this is so hard because I don't want to look like I'm a meanie either, because I'm not trying to be a meanie. But I'm trying to find, how do we do this without potentially offending? And that's where, with the current policies of YouTube right now, it's so easy to accidentally offend without even meaning to be offensive. Yeah. Share to the disability community. Not just the disabled, share to everybody, even that's not disabled. We all have family that are not disabled. We all have friends that are not disabled. We'd love to hear from them because those people could also be inspired because they're watching this and going, I never thought about that. What is it like for a disabled person, say in a wheelchair? None of us, as far as I know, I don't know if there is anybody in this group that cannot walk. I don't know. There may be. But let's talk about this. How is a person who's a paraplegic and they can't walk? How do they have sex? I mean, if you're a man, of course, and if you're a paraplegic, does that mean if it's caused by spinal damage, does that mean that your male member doesn't get big? Are you using an implant? Do you suffer from male impotence? And what about the females? If you are paraplegic, how does this affect the way your reproductive system works? I don't know, because I'm not a paraplegic. I don't see them saying there are things I don't know, but there are things I want to know, because I'm curious too. And this is the reason why we need to actually have more people in here. This is what this channel needs to do to grow. Because if it's only just catering to just a small group of the like-minded individuals with the same abilities or disabilities, whichever the case may be, it's not going to grow. It has to expand. People have to share these videos. People have to like these videos. We got to get more people watching them. We got to get them. The more people we can get watching, the more the channel is likely to end up on the trending list. And then that can help us to expand. And we have to focus on that. Yeah. Only the disabled guy, she can't handle drama. I know, I only cut part of this. I don't want to talk about starving African. Sure, Michele, we all want to talk about Bulgaria. Well, maybe we don't. But, you know, I don't know why People of Peace is so wrapped up with Bulgaria. But, you know, that's his thing. And I think, in a way, he's a lot like a lot of men with Asperger's. That is, you get fixated on one thing. Sometimes you know it to death. You study it to death. And it does happen among Asperger women, too. You study the things that you love. Like there was one woman that has Asperger's. She said, I studied makeup for a year. I studied makeup. I learned about makeup. I talked the talk. I knew the chemistry of the makeup, what manufacturer said what in it, and I knew about the color coordinating and all that. She said, I went through all that. And that drove some people totally crazy. It's the same way with me. I mean, I can tell you about computers and technology because that's what I grew up doing. And then I found out that my dad was the same way. And somebody asked about, well, what happens if a man with Asperger's and a woman that doesn't have Asperger's have a baby? Could the baby have Asperger's? And I would say it's very possible. That, in fact, it's more seen. The men with Asperger's seem to get more attention than the females. The females with Asperger's are often not seen. They're the silent minority. They're not, people don't know that women can get Asperger's because women tend to try to fit in more. We're only starting to see that in the mental health field, that there are more women coming forward that have Asperger's, and they're saying, hey, what about us? Sure, we try to fit in well with people, but we don't really always do well because, you know, we just... And yet there's more support programs for the men with Asperger's, but for women, it's like, where is it? Where is the support? I mean, and that's what they're saying. Where is the support? I mean, for the Asperger men, there's programs to help them. And more often than not, the mental health field will be the first ones to diagnose the men. The women just kind of fall behind the radar, probably because women are almost like chameleons. They kind of try to blend in to be normal, and they tend to do better at it than the men. And the problem is that they have... Part of them are still saying the same question. Why in the hell can I get the support that Joey can get to help him to recover and to be better integrated in society? And I am basically a living train wreck. And now the mental health field is starting to say, hey, you know what? There are Asperger women. Some of them are doing fantastic and some are not doing as well. But they really are just as much part of the autistic spectrum. And they're just as beautiful, and they're just as smart, and they want to do a good job. And which means for the dating scene, it's the same thing. We're told socially, well, you got to be a certain way. You got to act a certain behavior, because if you don't, no one's going to date you. And yet, for some, it's easier, and for others, it's not. And then, of course, we're not even talking about hermaphrodite on top of that. But you can figure out what happens there. Men don't like I would say most men do not like women with Asperger's because they're either talk too much or they're too wrapped up in their own little projects, and then and that some men, especially neurotypical men, are like, I don't really know if I really think that Susan is really what I want because she seems to be wrapped up about talking about fashion and makeup and stuff. Looking for a woman that's well rounded that also likes to talk about politics and the news, and maybe can help me to fine tune my 4x4. And there are some women that do like that stuff, and they maybe also Asperger's. There are women that are gearheads. They actually love trucks. They love cars. They love engines. They love mechanical things, and they are highly respected. And if that's what the man is looking for in a partner, he would be best to marry or go out with a woman like that. If he's not, see, we're too wrapped up in one or two things, and then that makes us kind of like Pop. He's a man, but I'm going to tell him an example here. I mean, if it was a female, say, call him, Poppy, let's just call him Poppy, okay? Like the woman Poppy. But in this case, not superstar at all. In this case, because we're talking about a female Pop, right? What in the heaven's name are you going to do when you sit there going, you tell your boyfriend, oh, you hear about the Prime Minister Camelia, about Bulgaria was saying about how we need to leave the EU, and he's going to be like, especially if he doesn't have anything to do with Bulgaria, he's going to go, wait a minute, Papia, what are you talking about? I don't want to know about Bulgaria. I want to know what you thought about the nice new car I bought. Or maybe about the house I bought, or the house we rented. I'm not interested in Bulgaria, I'm in the United States. Papia would probably end up finding herself on the rejected list. That sucks. And so we try really hard to broaden our horizons, and we do. And like I said, in the Asperger women, we tend to be better chameleons. We play roles. Some of them actually are actresses. Some of them actually have got into theater. And because we're used to putting on the face, like on stage, like we can play roles. Because they're roles. That's all we see it as, is roles. We don't see it necessarily like, what's the real Michele like when you take off the mask? What is the real Michele like? I don't know if most people really would want to know. I'm a very quiet person. I talk to Lumi most of the time. We've watched videos on YouTube. We watch the news. We read the news. We watch the weather forecasts. We do trends analysis. Most people are like, I don't give a shit about that crap. I want to hear you basically explode on camera about what the latest topic is today. In some cases, if it's a topic that we don't really know about, we can't, because we're like, I can't really explore about something I don't know. But if it's something I know, I'm going to give you an earful. And Asperger's is something I know very well. So, please don't judge us because we are different. I can't help that we're the fools on the hill. But that doesn't mean that we're bad people. Don't hate us because of that. I think it's time to wrap it up. I think it's time to wrap it up too. So let's answer a few questions real quick here. Let's see where we're going to start. Well, it's Peachy. Kirsty says, LMAO, we can help you. Do you want a woman or a man? Another show. Stop. We did show Michele. Yes, we did. I'm mostly into women. I have dated a few men. I just don't know if there's just something about men that, for the most part, I don't really understand the men that well. I don't mean to speak bad about them, but I just don't really understand men that well. And I know I've heard gay men say the same thing about women, that they just don't understand women either. And I guess it's because I've spent most of my life with women. It's like was pointed out, I think it was by Skynet. He says over 80% of the mods on your channel are women. He's right. I didn't originally plan that. It just ended up that way. If that helps. Take care and good show. You did well, both of you. Thanks for letting Michele lead Lumi. Well, we both led each other. It's not just one or the other. Yeah. Read my last comment, and then of course I'm so proud of Michele. Let me stay away. Let her speak. It was such a better show. I try to let Michele speak up most of the time. Because today's show was your show. Stacy, this is your chance. This was your idea. Michele wanted to be part of it. And we wanted to try to discuss things that would apply to 99.9% of the world, and not the 0.1% of the world, which is even less than that. Was it like 0.00001 1/billionth, 1/trillionth of a percent of the world? So, yeah, that's why we tried to focus on the topic that would be more appropriate for more people. Well, for right now, guys, I'm going to be honest, we had a good show. And it would be great to continue that. Let me go ahead and get ready to get to the wrap-up, as we call it, the wrap-up point in the show, which is basically pretty simple. Everybody, I want to say that we are going to continue with these type of discussions on Saturday. And I'm hoping that you can share these videos with your friends. Please ask them to join us. It really would be so fantastic to have everybody bring a new person to the show. And don't forget to sub, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you are new, and if you have not known how to sub, which is not surprising, it's easy. If you most browsers, you can just click on the blue square that says subscribe and then ESQ, and it will allow you to sub to the channel. And if you need help figuring that out, there is instructions. I will tell Nightbot to send them to you. It's really easy. Easy peasy. Nightbot, don't get too lazy. You got one last instruction for today, which is, can you please tell people how to subscribe to the channel? And that would be a fantastic option, because we really, really want to grow this channel so far. And there we go. So here's what it says here. Please do subscribe by clicking on the blue subscribe and the ESQ2 box, or click below, which is http://www.youtube.com/BICHELA4. And it's the easiest way. And I want to thank everybody for being part of the show. We had a great time. Yes, we did. So everybody, thanks. That was a great show. And we will see you guys on Saturday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 p.m. UK time, and of course 11 a.m. Pacific Time. Correct. Okay, guys. Bye bye, everybody.